Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be taking a look at creating custom workbooks found within our Motec M1 software. Now, being able to create custom workbooks and layouts within the software is really key to getting the most out of doing the calibrating and tuning with your M1 box. What we'll find is we have provided in default workbooks and worksheets and pages that were found in the software we're looking at right now. That's going to be specific to the package that you have loaded into your Motec. So we'll be discussing this here and breaking down the differences in just 1 minute. But what we need to understand from this video is that we don't have to rely on these default layouts, the way everything's displayed on screen. We can be very specific with this and create custom experience within the software, which is what I prefer to do. Let's break down what this all means. So the very first thing I want to talk about is understanding what we have going on in terms of the structuring within our software. It's important to know the differences here between working with a custom workbook and then using one provided in your package that you're dealing with. So if we look on the upper left-hand corner of our screen right here, in our drop-down, we're going to find we have a My Workbook area. Then we're going to see below this, there's going to be one specific to the package I'm dealing with. The package I have loaded here is a John Reed Racing Subaru STI package. Now this package has a workbook, and that's what we have clicked on right here. And below, we're going to find that we have these individual worksheets, and then we're going to find individual pages within those worksheets. So what we find here, and the easiest way to do a comparison, is that the workbook that's related to our package is acting as the library. Then our worksheets found below this, these different tasks, tuning, initial setup 2, on and on, these are acting as a book in the library. And if we click on, let's say, tuning, or a different option here, let's say engine systems, we're gonna find that we have these individual areas here. These are going to be acting as individual pages to navigate and to be able to take a look at specific information. These are acting as a page in the book. So we have our library, that's the workbook. We have our worksheets, that's going to be the book. And then we find we have these individual pages, which are acting as a page in the book. So that's going to be how things are structured in the software. Now, the package that we're dealing with, this John Reed Racing package, whenever you open up the package you're working with, that's going to have your workbook structured in a way that's going to display and define things and try to make your life easy navigating and working within that package. But that's definitely not going to be the best way to work with and using your M1 software. You want to be able to customize this and display things on the screen and being able to access specific information, because what they've provided here, to me, isn't really user friendly. I mean, I can get my way around this and I can definitely navigate it if I didn't want to create a custom workbook. However, I am much more efficient using a custom workbook to my specific taste and what I want to see, and being able to calibrate and do my tuning process. So let's jump in here and take a look at what we have going on creating a custom workbook. So under My Workbooks here, we're going to find that we have a sub workbook. This is again going to act as the worksheet. And then in here, we're going to have our pages. So let's click on this real quick. Now, normally in your software, because nothing will be populated yet, you'll find you have one tab and that tab is going to be blank. And then everything in the page is going to be blank. Now we can go in and create these custom layouts, as we're finding in here, these custom pages. They're going to be doing whatever we'd like. So we have a lot of flexibility in here. Now we can also recall here, just in our file structuring, we have My Workbook. Then we have a workbook, and this workbook would be for a specific task. Let's say for tuning, we can create this. They're calling it workbook, but it would be a worksheet. And then we have our sub pages found within that worksheet. I can go in here and rename this workbook, which is what I want to do right now. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to click on this real quick here. So we're going to go into workbook and we're going to go to rename workbook. And I'm just going to call this tuning, and we'll just leave it as that. So under My Workbooks, I have now a worksheet called tuning, and then I have my pages that are individually defined for doing a tuning task. Now I can keep creating new worksheets and then new pages for a specific task that I'd like to work with. So for example, this could be tuning, and then we might have one just for basic setup. We might want to call that, they have it called initial setup, and that can display exactly what we want to see here. But let's just focus right now on creating our custom pages and taking a look at what I've created right here. So I have a page called fuel tuning, I have one called ignition tuning, and I have one called idle tuning. This has all the information I need to do these specific tuning tasks. In my opinion, this is much easier to work with and to look at compared to, for example, here, if I go here to tuning and I take a look at their fuel tuning, we don't have things laid out here, in my opinion, very efficiently. There is a way to access the main volumetric efficiency table if I find it here, but now I can't really get to all the other areas of the table unless I'm going and scrolling through up and down in the table. Obviously, we have our three-dimensional view of our table here. We have things that are going to be allowing us to do further programming, such as engine efficiency mode. If we need to access that, we can do it right here. But if I want to just tune my volumetric efficiency table, going in here, this is not ideal. I want to see the whole table. I want to be able to do my editing very efficiently. And that's where, if we jump back into my tab, under fuel tuning, now we see the entire volumetric efficiency table. Then we also see other tables that are associated with doing fuel tuning. So for example, here we have another table here, and that's going to be our fuel mixture aim table. So this is going to be our target lambda target air fuel table. Then I also have, in addition to this window, channels. These are all of the fueling channels that I normally would want to look at and be able to review as I'm doing my tuning. So it displays a ton of information in here, and this is purely going to be looking at streaming data out of the Motec. And then I also have found within this specific page a logging template, which is known as our graphing template, and it gives me the ability to go back and forward when we're live with the Motec and take a look at data. So I can look at engine RPM and my inlet manifold pressure, engine load, throttle position, exhaust lambda, measuring what our actual lambda amount is from our lambda sensor, and then our fuel closed loop control aim, and that's going to be what our target lambda is going to be. So this allows me to see everything I need in order to do my fuel tuning. It's very specific of how I set this up. So this is, again, not something that you'll find that's going to be available in your software. This is something, in this case, that I've created custom. Let's take a look at our ignition tab here, ignition page. Now in here, we're going to find that same kind of concept.
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.